Most climbers spend a lot of time thinking about movement, but not as much time thinking about what that movement might be responding to. In this carve out from the MoveSci skill development training plan, we're going to use something simple, the ankle, to go over a much larger idea. The goal isn't necessarily ankle movement. The goal is understanding how your body interacts with the environment around it, and also how the ankle might support a higher order skill that I'll state explicitly in about 30 to 45 seconds. I encourage you to think about what that higher order skill might be in the interim period. As you watch, pay attention to the interaction between exploration and instruction. Sometimes thinking is helpful. Other times, thinking gets in the way. An important goal of this training plan is going to be learning how to tell the difference between when you should do one versus the other.
So our second set of modifications are called joint adjacency modifications. We'll do single adjacency as well as second adjacency. And what that basically means is we're going to be looking at something, a joint that is the next joint in line, okay? So in this case, the next joint in line is going to be the knee. So from that perspective, we need to know a little bit about the knee.
So the primary skill we're training here isn't the knee or the ankle. It's not the motion of those two joints. It's learning to create movement and stability through the center of mass. Early in the plan, the goal is to explore which levers we can manipulate to influence that skill. To illustrate how this progression works, I'm going to skip over the knee and go straight to the ankle to show how a more distal or further joint from the center of mass can help explore stability and movement in our center of mass.
All right, now on to second adjacency. We're going to look at the ankle. Ankle is a little bit more complex than the knee, unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on your perspective. So as I take a step back, so you can actually see, we know that we can raise up and pull back. It's essentially called plantar flexion, dorsiflexion. Now we also know that we can invert and evert. What that basically means is rolling to the outside, rolling to the inside. Roll to the outside, roll to the inside. And if you imagine what this does, as you roll to the inside, roll to the outside, it'll essentially be about putting pressure this way versus putting pressure that way. It's really important that in the next video, you take what you learned today and try to apply it to the environmental situation that we find ourselves in. So when a hold is sloped out, what do you do? When a hold is oriented differently, what do you do? I'm going to choose one. A lot of people know about plantar flexion, dorsiflexion, or rather standing up and sinking down. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to roll in and roll out. Now, one thing you should have noticed is that on that last move, I had 2 feet, not just one. And I kind of did that on purpose. I explored both. I basically went in, out, in on one side, out on the other, in on the other. I didn't think about this. I just felt it out. Make sure that you're not overthinking this, like as you go. Thinking can be required in early skill acquisition. Not always, not through every single approach. Through my approach, I do appreciate a little bit of thinking, but I want you to hold back. As we go through the videos, I'll show you when to hold back and when to go forward in terms of how much you actually think, ooh, do I roll in, do I roll out? More importantly, I'll give you cues that help you understand. Roll the shoe in, roll the shoe out, rather than thinking about, oh, do I invert, do I evert, that sort of thing. Now, I'm not going to go through the next attempt on exploring second adjacency. That just gives you an extra attempt to explore something else. In this case, with the ankle, I would encourage you to shift upwards and sink over. Okay, I'll point that out, as well as what happens when you try to externally rotate and drop your like the cup of your shoe versus raise the cup of your shoe.
I hope you enjoyed that small preview of the MoveSci skill development training plan. Throughout the plan, we're going to go over movement, perception, decision making, stability, coordination, route reading, all so that you can get a sense of how skill development progresses, all through about 26 different videos, totaling about 4 hours of content. The videos are all broken up into these bite sized chunks of about 5 to 15 minutes. You watch the video, you open up the training plan so that you can get a sense of how to structure that day's skill development portion of your session, and then you go climb. The goal isn't giving you a bunch of different drills to memorize. The goal is helping you to understand how climbers interact with the environment and how skill development can progress. If that approach resonates with how you want to learn, I'd love to have you join me. For more information, just head to www.beta-angel.com and check out the MoveSci section of the website. Thanks for listening.